Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for January the 20th. And so we're going to be pulling one card for each sign. And so if you know your sun sign, this is going to give you a little tidbit of information. If you know your sun, moon, and rising, a little bit more. And if you know all your planetary placements, you can get quite a bit of juice out of a short little video like this. Let's get started, shall we? We're going to use the vice versa tarot again. I've used it before with you guys, and if you remember, what I did is I pulled off of the top of it just like I did any other deck, and pull and flip just like I always do. So that's how we're going to do it. Aries, what you have showing up here is the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is just telling me that there's something happened that you're feeling disappointed about. You may feel like your ship has sailed here with this ship in the background, like there's some type of opportunity that you're missing out on or that you did miss out on. So some type of disappointment, and really having a hard time looking at the positive right now whenever this shows up in your energy. So always, 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 when we're feeling disappointed, we want to realize there's something good going on. Just the fact that we have feelings is a good start. So we want to try to look for those good things as we move forward so that we can start to come back into manifesting good things for us. And a lot of times I am feeling like this disappointment situation, this could be a blessing in disguise. Whether it seems like it at the moment or not. And you may not want to hear that right now. And if you don't, I totally get it. But Spirit brought it up, so there it is. Next up, let's look at Taurus. So Taurus, what you have showing up here is the Queen of Wands showing us her back. She's got her back to us. So Queen of Wands with her back to us, I do feel like we've got somebody in our sphere of influence, those of us who have Taurus placements, who is really feeling like it's time to shut down or isolate, come away from the regular hustle and bustle and communication of lots and lots of people, and probably doing that because they want some creative time, or they want some self-rejuvenating time where they can get back into their regular energy. Now, this can be a fire sign, but it really doesn't have to be. It could be anybody that feels like they just need some time away from people to rejuvenate. So we may not be hearing a lot from this person today, and that's okay. They're just getting their energy back. All right, next up, let's look at Gemini. So Geminis, you guys have the Knight of Swords. Isn't this interesting? We don't have a unicorn here, but he certainly looks like he's flying through the air, doesn't he? He's up there with the birds. So I feel like Geminis, you guys are getting the big picture today on something. And I think, well, you know what? I don't even want to say you're getting the big picture. I think you're showing somebody else the big picture. You're sharing your perspective, your big picture perspective on something with somebody else today in order to help them understand how you're viewing a situation. Okay, so that's for Gemini. Next up, we have Cancers. So Cancer, we do have the Ace of Swords showing up in reverse. Now for me, the Ace of Swords in this deck talks about the idea of passing along good information to somebody in your sphere of influence. Now this can be anything from teaching a teleconference with 5,000 people on the line to teaching your little one how to tie their shoe. But this is just passing along good information to somebody that is in your sphere of influence, Cancers. We like it, it's good. Next up, let's look at Leo. Okay, so Leo's Three of Wands showing up in reverse. Three of Wands in reverse is just telling me that you guys are turning your back on some long-term plans, or maybe even some travel plans that you made in the past. And you're coming to a point where you're reprioritizing and readjusting. You may be canceling whatever those plans were completely, or it could possibly be that you're just fine-tuning or retweaking them. But I really feel like the way this card comes across to me with the back turned, I feel like there's some kind of plans, travel plans or other long-term plans that you are just turning your back on completely. I think you're making new plans, you've got new priorities. And because things have shifted now, those plans have to shift. And I think they're shifting dramatically. All right, so that's Leo. Next up, let's look at Virgo. Virgos, you guys have the Four of Pentacles showing up in reverse. Now this is a little bit of a different depiction of the Four of Pentacles, actually. What's going on here? I just feel like there's some kind of magic that's happening. I don't know why I feel that way, but I think this flame has something to do with it at the top of the card. Uh, and it's a very Wands energy having that fire right there. I think that you're doing some type of manifestation with your money. And I think that what you're doing is you're taking money that you had saved back or stashed back, or maybe you're pulling an old skill out of your hat that you haven't used for a long time. And whatever this is, whether it's money or an old skill that you have, or maybe it's something that you've had a long time that now you're selling, whatever is going on here, I think what you're doing is you're using that talent or that ability, that money, or that thing that you've had for a while, you're using that to create more money. Now, normally in a different deck with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, I would say that you're spending some of the money that you had stashed. I do think you are spending, like if this is money, I think you're spending what you had stashed, but for a very specific reason with that torch there. You're spending this to create more. So basically you're investing this one way or the other. For some of you with this torch showing up here, this could be that it's not necessarily money, but that you're putting in sweat equity on something. So you're putting in your own energy, your own time, because those pentacles can talk about energy and effort as well, well-being. So putting in your own blood, sweat, and tears for some of you on something in the expectation that it will bring back a good return to you. Okay, so that's for Virgo. Next up, we're looking at Libra. Libras, you guys have the Queen of Pentacles here. This is just telling me that you are feeling fairly confident with the money that you have. These cards are kind of looking washed out. Let me see if I can fix this. That's better. That's much better. Okay, so you're feeling like you're abundant, like you have everything that you need. You are making sure to do some good self-care along the way. And I think that today you're going to be sharing some of what you have with others. You could be hosting or hostessing some type of get-together. You could be giving somebody some type of gift. But I do think that with this type of thing, there's always the anticipation that whatever it is you're giving away will encourage or uplift somebody else, maybe even help them to create their own well-being or their own abundance. All right, now let's look at Scorpio. Scorpios, you guys have the Ace of Cups showing up here. This is telling me that today you are finding something that is new or new again that you really are appreciating and enjoying and just feel really, really great about. We like it. Yay, yay. Can be an activity, a project, or a person. Could be. Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, you guys have the Six of Cups showing up here. This is just telling me that you're having some type of memories from the past, and these are pleasant memories, sentimental memories, things that make you feel good whenever you think back to them. A lot of times with the Six of Cups showing up, then there can be somebody coming back from the past that is bringing those memories with them. So that very well may be too, you may be spending time with somebody from your past today as well. Next up we have Capricorn. So Capricorns, we have the Nine of Swords here. And the Nine of Swords is really, in this deck, on this side of the card, it really, you see those swords and their light, their truth, their information, but they're blocking this person's vision from the window, from the light in the window. So for me, this is talking about the idea that there is some kind of truth that is so bright for you that you can't see past it. That, you know, there may be something coming up that just feels like a deal breaker to you. To me, this feels to me a little bit in this deck kind of like the Eight of Swords, where the Eight of Swords is, the normal Eight of Swords has you limited and thinking and rethinking. This is, I think we're still dealing with truth, the way the swords are glowing, at least on this side of the card. And with that truth, we're having a hard time seeing long term. All we're seeing is short term. What does that mean right now? But we're having a hard time seeing out. So we want to step back and we want to get a more long term objective view of the situation. You know, this truth in the long term, how important is it going to be? How important is it going to be 2 years from now or 2 decades from now? How important is it going to be 2 weeks from now or 2 days from now or 2 hours from now? You know, so we really want to look at this for what it is and not let it just take up our whole mind space. Okay? Next up, Capricorns. So Capricorns, you guys have the Three of Pentacles or the Three of Coins here. This does talk about collaboration and creating something and building something. Normally you see 3 people in this card in a regular deck. Here you see one person. He's got that building block or that stone. There's also a rose there, which is telling me that he is, I think that there's a love for him in building up something, a love for him in this collaboration. You know, he's got the triangle on the stone. To me, that talks about the Trinity. You know, he could be working with God. He's in the church collaborating with God. But this really, for the most part, talks about collaboration with other people. And so I think with this Three of Coins, there is something that you're collaborating on. I think that you're kind of doing the basics, the way that box is right there, and I think that you really love what you're doing in this collaboration, Capricorn. Next up, let's look at Aquarius. So Aquarius, you guys have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and we have this one card that just really wants to fall. We're going to fix that. Okay, so Aquarius, Five of Pentacles in reverse just means that you have a situation where you've been feeling kind of left out or on the fringes socially, and with that happening, you are, with this card coming in reverse, now you're starting to feel more included in the groups of people that are around you, especially the ones that are important to you. Now, I got to tell you, Pisces, I really think that this card was trying to get out of the way so this card could come up. So we're going to take this card for Pisces today. Nine of Wands showing up here. This just tells me, Pisces, that you guys are preparing for something, getting ready for something. And this could be anything from a trip to a presentation at work to a conversation with somebody. But just really making preparations is what I have, you know, as my mental keyword for this card. And a lot of times, you know, those preparations may be pretty thorough and pretty lengthy. This guy looks pretty beat up. Like at the end of making preparations, he's like, oh my gosh, where is the bed? The fence is standing. Where is the bed? Now I need some rest before I actually do what I'm prepared to do. So I think that you could really be putting a lot of energy and effort into the preparations that you're making today, Pisces. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here. I do appreciate it. If you heard the dog barking upstairs, I do apologize. He is a pretty good guard dog when there's nobody home. So anyway, thank you for being here. Remember to comment down below the video. This is going to be the last month that I do the contest with the comments, so this is your last chance to get in on that. And what else do we need to talk about? Thank you guys very much for all your support. Thank you for booking live readings and Reiki sessions with me. And of course, thank you for all your support of the channel. Everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.